Finally got another video done. Thank God I don't have to make another video on this for a few. Oh, someone's at the door? I didn't even know that there was a door in this blue void. Come on in! Holy shit! So are you just gonna stand there, or? Yeah, I'm not gonna question that. So, a bit ago, I made a video covering Juke's Towers of Hell. This is a sequel to that video, so if you haven't watched the first one, I highly recommend checking that out first. Assuming you already know the basics of the game, I'm going to go over the basics of this video. I've progressed a lot since that first video, which is why I will only be covering towers that I've completed that are difficult or higher. No more of that low-level Tower of Madness crap. So, without further ado, let the torment commence. This was decent. Not the best, not the worst, really. This is a descending tower, meaning you go downwards, meaning there's basically a net every floor, except there are a bunch of kill bricks now. Floor 5 was a bit tricky with some of the jumps and the kill brick net, but overall, it was fine with it. I took around 30 minutes on the tower. Floor 6 was trying to be hectic with its turrets, but overall you could have just hid behind a surface and it wouldn't have been too hard. It's not the most memorable tower, so I can't really give that much feedback on it, but I, kinda liked it. I hate this tower. I can't really give an opinion if the tower is good or not, because I would definitely say it sucks because of how long I took on it. It took me 80 minutes to beat this difficult tower, and I fell on one of the last jumps. Not to mention that there are multiple GBJs, which mean if you fall, you cannot escape and you have to restart. I would genuinely rather browse r/anime memes for an hour than play this tower. Do not play this if you are new to the game. I am warning you. This is a monthly tower, meaning you don't get any tower points from it, and you only have 1 month to complete it before it disappears and goes into whatever time lost zone it goes to. This is also a descending tower, with lots of gimmicks. And by a lot, I mean it introduces a new gimmick almost every single floor. What I do like about this tower is how it has animations with rigs to show you what to do. That's a nice little touch in which I wish more towers had. But overall, this was actually a really fun tower to go through, and I liked it. This steeple is actually a sequel to another steeple that I did last video called Steeple of Sunny Island Shenanigans. It follows the same general format. You have a few challenges you can take on in any order and then go straight into the finale. I have to say, I like this steeple a lot more than its predecessor. Everything just feels more polished, and it didn't make me suffer as much as the last one. Not to mention it resides in one of, if not the best subrealm in the game, Silent Abyss. Overall, if you manage to get there, I highly recommend checking this one out. It's one of the easiest in the subrealm, and it's a good play. I do not like this steeple. The decoration is repetitive, the gameplay is bad, what else is there to say? I failed on the second to last jump and fell back to floor 1. Not to mention the random beat block they throw at you after not having one for almost 2 floors. Yeah, I'm sorry, I just don't like this one. while I still didn't like this one either, I felt like it was better than Steeple of Crystal Ascension at least. The electric floor, however, was extremely annoying to complete due to it being almost impossible to sight read. That floor alone probably took up 60 to 70% of my playtime for that tower, and I'm not kidding. So unless you're really good at sight reading stuff and dealing with speed or jump changes, then I suggest not playing this until you're a bit more skilled at the game. Words cannot describe the amount of anger I have experienced at this singular steeple. The amount of times I have fallen to floor 1 and gotten stuck there for 10 minutes was probably not that many times, but it was still a few. What's even worse is that 80 minutes in, the tower decided to soft lock itself and make me restart. That, along with unfair gameplay and inconsistent platforms, make this my least favorite steeple in the entire game. Maybe even my least favorite tower in general. Unless you are hell-bent on getting that magic crystal, do not play this steeple. I'm warning you. It's the Halloween season, you know what that means! Generally, around every year on Halloween and Christmas, there is an event. 3 steeples followed up by 1 boss fight. This Halloween, we have Steeple of Ghostly Mischief, an easy, Steeple of Dungeon Crawling, which is a hard, and Steeple of Moonlit Heresy, which is an intense... Wait a minute. You're telling me that to beat this event, I have to beat an intense tower after only beating 2 challengings in the past?
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean!
How did you even get here?! This was certainly a steeple that existed. Everyone I've seen playing it either loved this steeple or hated it. And after playing it myself, I can definitely see why. This is a very punishing steeple. What I mean by that is that 90% of the time, 1 missed jump and you fall all the way down. This tower also has tons of client objects, meaning basically anything can happen. The good news is that the hardest sections of the tower are netted, so that's a plus at least. Overall, in my opinion, this is actually a really good steeple, although it might not be for everybody. Yes, this one did take me a long time, but it didn't make me completely infuriated over it having bad gameplay, because the gameplay wasn't bad. There's just a learning curve to get used to. If you're easily able to sight read and to learn mechanics, then yeah, this is for you. But with that out of the way, that was my first intense. I'm not gonna talk about the other steeples because, you know, they're not difficult or harder. But yeah, let's move on to the next thing then. Time for me to finally take care of this pest. You get a wand at the start of the fight. This is basically your main way of damaging everything. You can only hit Eclipse on his head, however you can also hit his minions too. Phase 1 isn't too difficult, all you gotta do is just dodge for a bit and he doesn't have too much health. Phase 2 on the other hand is a bit more tricky than that. Instead of directly attacking Eclipse, he spawns 4 generators that you have to take out in order to damage him. While Eclipse does have very low HP, 99% of this phase is just taking out the generators. They fight back with their own attacks though. The trick is to not get overwhelmed. If you get overwhelmed, you die. Most minions won't do too much harm as their attacks are easy to avoid, but you have to take out the mini eclipses as they do not despawn. Alright, so I did the 2 acts and I won the show. I win the event, right?
No.
Welcome to Phase 3, the phase I actually died on the first time I tried it. This is mainly just a much harder version of Phase 1, with around 3 times the health, harder attacks, you get the drill. While it is really easy to get overwhelmed here, yeah, it's just the same attack patterns again. The only catch is that, yeah, they're much harder, obviously. My trick is to just run in circles and keep firing at Eclipse, I guess. Alright, I've defeated you. You're going to leave now, right?
So yeah, about that, my boss is definitely gonna kill me if he sees that I lost against you, so is it okay if I can just stay here and hide for a bit?
Oh, don't worry, I'll do the work for him.
Thank you very much. Wait, what?
Good riddance, jack-o'-lantern head. With him gone, I think that's a good place to end it off for now. EToH isn't a game about winning. It's about failing and getting back up again. With enough perseverance and with enough time, you will conquer your challenges. Look at me, the last video I did on this only had me beat 2 challengings. Now I've beaten an intense. Maybe next video I'll be able to get up to a remorseless. But that probably won't be for a while, at least until the Christmas event comes out. Overall, I'm happy I took this up. It was an experience for me, something that actually gave me a feeling of triumph. Not many of the other games I've played do that. Although, throughout all of this, I've realized something. What started out as me just trying to test my skills has turned into me playing EToH hours a day. Have I really become a EToH player?